We're going to talk about this.
This is your last chance.
So this is a woman on her wedding day. Gives Chief Keef one more chance.
Chief Keef, this is your last chance. Otherwise, I'm gone forever. You have 10 minutes to let me know. I feel the most beautiful I've ever felt. This is my dress. Chief Keef, this is your last chance. Chief Keef, this is your last.
Now, let's identify what this is. Okay? We're going to go from A to Z on this shit. Step one. Men and women are different. Okay? I think I'm speaking to a higher IQ audience here, but we got a lot of new niggas here that sit there and think that men and women are equal and equal partnerships, all this other bullshit. So let me just start right here. Blank slate equality, okay, is not real. Gonna say that again. Blank slate equality that progressives and feminists subscribe to in egalitarians is not real. And the reason why it's not real is because men and women are fundamentally different from a biological intrinsic perspective that for the most part is extremely predictable and natural to human order. Okay? So that's number one. Understand that men and women are different. Now that we've established that men and women are different, let's get into how are they different. Women have a trait called hypergamy. And this is a trait that's kind of changed definitions, right? First, it was the ideology of marrying up. Now it's, what we've kind of colloquially used as open hypergamy. But the bottom line is simply this. It is the process of women marrying up in social and dominance hierarchies, okay? And it's extremely important for you guys to understand that this is one of the most fundamental differences between men and women, okay? This is one of the biggest fundamental differences because men, for the most part, do not marry or get into relationships with women based on their economic status, their ability to provision, their ability to protect, or any of that shit, okay? Men mate with women for replication value. Are you hot? Are you going to give me healthy children? Are you not going to be a 304, right? We're concerned with a completely different array of traits than women are. So men deal with women from a replication value perspective. Are you hot? Women deal with men from a security perspective. Can you protect me? Can you provide for me? So men are focused on replication. Women are focused on security. Okay? Now that we've established that men and women are different biologically, fundamentally, and we are different in how we mate, now we can actually properly address this video, okay? The concept of hypergamy, which is women marrying up, women dating up, women smashing up, whatever. For thousands of years, it was controlled. What do I mean by this? Female nature is destructive if not controlled. Let me explain. If a woman cheats on a man and has another child, right, that will have severe consequences on not just herself and the child, but also on the man. If a man has an affair, right, the damage isn't going to be as destructive, okay? Women cheating is far less forgivable, or let me go further, it's unforgivable, while male cheating can be forgiven because when a man cheats, we cheat for different reasons than why they cheat. And women have to get to a certain type of mindset They have to be in a certain emotional state to do it. And for a woman to cheat on you and be in an emotional state to cheat on you, she must disconnect with you, which at that point, you're cooked, right? Now, going back to hypergamy, and it's important that you guys understand this. I want you guys to really grasp this. Ancient people from different parts of the world all came to the same conclusion. And what was that conclusion? Women are fucking retarded. So we need to make decisions for them, and they need to be subordinate to us because we must protect them from themselves. Okay? Women are emotional creatures that do things based on their emotions. The problem with this is when you make decisions based on emotion, emotions change, but reality doesn't. So you might make a really bad decision based on how you felt at the time that can have very long-standing consequences for you in the future, okay? A lot of women aren't really far-sighted with their decision-making, okay? They're just not. It's not really in their capacity, all right? They're not deductive problem solvers. They're typically not as rational as men. This is all biological fact. I'm sorry, okay? I know some fucking retard in the chat. Well, I know plenty of women that are smart and rational. Sure. But that is still a fraction of the female population. If I take 100 men and 100 women, right, the majority of the men are going to be rational to some degree, right? Versus if I take 100 women, only a minority of them will be rational to the same degree. Does that make sense? Okay? And we have to operate on generalities here because generalities is how the world works. So, and I really want you guys to hammer that home. Since the beginning of human history and time, every major religion, every group of people have all established that women are fucking stupid and they need men to lead them. And women need to be subordinates. Otherwise, society crumbles. Okay? Now, what we have here, which I explained to you guys what hypergamy is, there's something called open hypergamy. And open hypergamy, it's more of a colloquial term, but it is the practice of openly engaging in practices to market yourself to higher status men. Now, open hypergamy is a relatively new thing because of the advent of social media. Okay? Prior to social media, women were contained within their immediate geographic location as to finding a partner, right? In the 1950s, a girl pretty much had to pick a guy from her local area, okay? It was very difficult for her to have access to, let alone speak to, higher status men and have certain opportunities, okay? Now, don't get it twisted. Hypergamy was always there, but women weren't able to exercise it to the same degree. The other thing I also want to say is that back in the 1950s, we had constraints on female hypergamy. Well, Myron, how did we have constraints on it? Well, we had shame. We had fathers, right? We had a society that basically reinforced certain values, right? So all of these different things, these social paradigms, were in place to protect women from themselves, okay? This all started to erode in the 1960s with the invention of birth control, the free love, open love movement, rock and drugs, right? Feminism. Basically, the 1960s were one of the most transformative decades in America. Actually, I would say it's probably the most transformative decade in American history. We're talking civil rights. We're talking immigration reforms. We're talking feminism, free love. The 1960s was the beginning of what we're dealing with now, okay? And a lot of people will sit there and tell you that the goal of feminism was for women to be equal to men. And I'm here to tell you guys that that might have been, right, and I'm being extremely charitable here, that might have been the intent of the first wave feminists. But what feminism is now, it's not about equality. It's about eliminating conventions that keep women in line. I'm going to say that again. Feminism is no longer about equality. It's about eliminating conventions, right, that keep women in line. It's the destruction of the nuclear family. It is the stripping of male authority while still making him responsible. It is the creation of family courts that are lopsided in a woman's favor. It is Duluth model legislation that favors women in domestic violence situations. It is believe all women. It is a criminal justice system that always assumes the man is guilty and the woman is innocent. Okay? So we've overcorrected for the benefit of women, and we are now at a point where women have more rights and privileges than men do. Okay? And with this expanded societal influence, open hypergamy thrives. And the reason why open hypergamy thrives is because feminism systemically destroyed the conventions that kept women in line in the first place, that protected them from themselves. Okay? Now that we've explained the biological evolution of men and women, we've explained the difference between our mating strategies, we've explained the male dating strategy or the male mating strategy versus the female dating strategy. Then we explained hypergamy. Then we explained how hypergamy was contained and failed thanks to the 1960s onward. Then we explained what open hypergamy is. Now arrive at Exhibit A. This girl here, okay? Because this didn't just happen in a fucking vacuum. This is decades upon decades of male subjugation to the female way of thinking. The reason why she has zero shame with posting a video like this on her wedding day, calling out to a low IQ rapper of high status. This is actually important too, because objectively speaking, I would argue that 90+% of women would find him extremely unattractive. Okay? So we're talking strictly status here. All right? And I see people in the chat saying it's a joke. I'm going to get to that. Because you guys are missing the fucking point. I'm going to explain that because I already know I got stupid niggas in chat saying it's a joke, blah, blah, blah. It's not real, whatever. That's not the point. That's not the point. So anyway, so you got someone like Chief Keef here, right? She's saying, oh, I'm getting married in 10 minutes. Shoot your shot, whatever, right? And he responded. The point isn't that this is a joke. Let me be explicitly fucking clear about this. It's not that this is a joke. It's that society thinks it's okay to make this fucking joke. I'm going to say that again. Because I can tell I got some blue pill retards in the fucking chat. Let me be explicitly crystal fucking clear about this. The problem isn't that this is a joke. The problem is that she thinks it's okay to make this joke given the context of what's going on. You fucking retards, okay? This cements what I've been talking and building up to. The fact that she thinks it's appropriate to make a joke like this proves to me what I've been telling you motherfuckers for damn near 5 years now. Women are out of fucking control. Okay? Women are out of fucking control.